What are some interesting or fun Christmas traditions you follow? My best friend and I started a tradition of celebrating Christmas Eve together. Actual day is a little loose on interpreting based on life. We switch it up each year, but we always dress up in Christmas outfits, have dinner, some kind of activity and a movie. At dinner we also exchange a book we picked for the other that we wrote a personal note inside. Then afterwards, we create a magnet for each other of our favorite photo from the night. Every year my wife and I buy an ornament for our tree that corresponds with something that happened that year. So we have a tree filled with all of these weird wacky ornaments like a tennis ball. We started playing tennis that year, Swedish chef, Europe trip, ship captain Nutcracker, our first cruise, amongst many others. It's such a fun tradition in December to debate what we to get and then finding something and then reliving them all when we put them up. My family has a tradition of leaving riddles on cards and guessing what the gift is before opening. We go around one by one, reading our hint out loud so everyone can guess, then open it and show the room. Ends up taking like 5 hours for everyone to get through their gifts, but it's always a fun time. We eat rice porridge and hide a peeled almond in it. The person finding it is the winner, and the price is a marzipan pig. Norway. Wife and I order from the same Chinese restaurant every Christmas Eve. We eat from there almost exclusively on Christmas Eve. We don't do much Chinese through the year regularly. Started one Christmas Eve when we were both feeling lazy and hasn't stopped. 12 plus years now. My grandmother gave us a blow-up Santa in an outhouse. My family thought it would look weird in our yard, so now we prank friends on Christmas Eve by putting it on the front door and waiting for them to see it. Edit. I checked Reddit this morning and this is the most upvotes I have ever gotten. Thank you. Every Christmas the kids in the house have wrapping paper put over the entrances to their rooms so they get to rip through it in the morning. It originally started as a way to keep a certain kid in when he kept coming out early and opening presents before everyone was awake. 28 years ago I was one of the first 100 customers at an Heb grand opening. For that honor I got 2 cans of this. That Christmas we had a fun dollar store white elephant exchange with the family Christmas Eve. I wrapped a can of the potted meat as my contribution. My mom got it and got a real kick out of it. She immediately re-gifted it to me the next day. Well, next year I wrapped it and gave it to my sister. The year after that she wrapped it and gave it to my dad. For the last 28 years this has been the most coveted gift of Christmas. I gave it to my son last year and he happily wrapped it for his cousin this Christmas. Edit. Picture of the gift. Original can. My grandpa would always get up on the roof about an hour after our bedtime and stomp around on the roof with sleigh bells. Edit. Thanks for the awards. Beeper would have been proud to hear that his Christmas spirit had gotten noticed on the internets. Each year we cut a round off the bottom of our Christmas tree. We label it with the year. Over time it makes a sweet display, a reminder of years past. We have signs all over our house spelling out Leon instead of Noel. It started out as a joke because my dad is dyslexic, but it stuck, and we even named our dog Leon, and we've been doing it since I can remember. Every year for the last 8 years my sister and I gift each other a weird thing that makes the other one laugh. It started with when our house almost got repossessed just before Christmas and everything was so terrible that we just wanted to make each other laugh. Highlights include 12 packs of frozen potato smiley faces to resolve a long forgotten childhood argument, 3 chocolate tubes filled with teeny rubber ducks instead of chocolate, a lucky dip which involved hiding small gifts in socks, and this year a bag of potatoes with Nicolas Cage's face blue tacked on every individual potato. My brother and I stay at my mother's house on Christmas Eve with our families every year. We still sit at the top of the stairs on Christmas morning until my mother tells us we can come down to the living room to see what Santa left us. We are both in our 30s and our wives and kids now sit on the stairs as well. It's getting pretty crowded, but I wouldn't have it any other way. Every year my family buys each other member a gag slash joke slash small gift, then writes a poem about it for the recipient to read on Christmas Eve. It's probably the highlight of the entire season for me, as it's always filled with laughter at how terrible we all are at poetry. No matter how old we all get, this is a really fun way to bring everyone back to that root joy of spending time together. This year it will be virtual, but still fun. As soon as this pandemic is over, and we can once again have Christmas gatherings, my sister and I can get back to smacking the hell out of each other with cardboard wrapping paper tubes. We are in our 50s, BTW. My uncle always hosts Christmas at his house, since family comes from all over, and he has beds for everyone to stay over. On his property is about an 150-foot diameter pond. Every Christmas morning we wake up and build a giant bonfire to get ready for the impending shock we will feel later on around noon. We also try to get a decent drunk blanket going for those that are of our family's required drinking age, just in case. Come noon on Christmas Day, we do the polar plunge to rid ourselves of last year's crap and look forward to next year. We huddle around this bonfire while my grandpa passes around shots to help warm up because that pond is fucking freezing. Edit. Told my uncle about how a lot of you seem interested in this, and he said if you guys, don't have plans *** any next year or are alone, feel free to come. He only asks to bring a tent / sleeping bag and a treat for their German shepherds. A buffet for 10, for 2. So my wife and I spend the days leading up to Christmas Eve going around and buying a selection of the poshest **party food from the likes of M&S, Booths, Waitrose. On Christmas Eve we will bathe the kids, 10 and 5, play board games with them, watch movies etc. It's bed for 9 PM and 10 PM for them both. The oven then goes on. 30 to 40 minutes later we have enough food to feed at least 10, but it's just for the two of us, and we always do pretty well, and are stuffed by 11:30 PM. A few glasses of wine or G&Ts keep the merriment going. We arrange the gifts at around 1 AM and it's off to bed. Excited ourselves, we usually end up discussing what food was our favorite and my wife makes a note to buy again the following year. Apart from seeing the kids' faces on Christmas morning, this is by far my favorite part of Christmas. I hope everyone has a good one this year and is able to fill their bellies and enjoy the company of those you love. The tradition in our house was whatever you got for Christmas, you had to wear to the pub at lunchtime on Christmas Day. I've been to the pub in PJs, 4 pairs of socks, running vest and shorts, etc. Shake up present. Shake present. Ask yes or no questions. You figure it out before Christmas. You open it. Each year for Christmas, instead of writing our real names on the presents, my parents would take a random theme and assign my siblings and I a name based on said theme. For example, this year's theme is liquor and the names are scotch, whiskey, and gin, and we have to guess who is what name. Whoever guesses correctly gets a little homemade Christmas themed trophy called the Christmas Smartest Award that they can keep until next Christmas. A tradition we had when I was a child, and one I'll be continuing with my children when I have them, is the Christmas Eve box. For Christmas Eve, we were given one gift early, and it was a box with Christmas pajamas, a mug, hot chocolate mix, popcorn, and a Christmas movie. We would get to open it around lunchtime, and we'd spend the rest of the evening in our new jammies, having cocoa and movies together. *EDITED to say, please don't steal Christian's pajamas, he needs THOSE*. Oh my gosh, I love this. When we were younger, my parents had a tradition with us. We would always go out into the front yard with my dad to find the perfect pine cone. Maybe a week or 2 before Christmas, we planted the pine cone in a pot and watered it. Then overnight, it would become this magnificent, huge, to my young eyes, and fully decorated Christmas tree. It only worked in December and we were always told it was the Christmas magic. Then my sister and I figured it out when we found pine needles in my parents' car, haha. NORAD tracks Santa. Edit. The Google Santa tracker is also really fun. On Christmas Eve we are each given a present early. It's always pajamas, and once everyone has opened their present the pajama races begin. Everyone runs to their respective rooms and puts on their pajamas, then races back to the tree. There is no prize for the winner except bragging rights. Then there is a final present that has been wrapped multiple times with a ton of tape. We all stand around the kitchen table and attempt to unwrap it one at a time. Except you have to put on mittens and a Santa hat before attempting to unwrap it. The person to your left is rolling dice, and if they get doubles then you stop trying to unwrap it and pass the mittens and hat to them so they can try. This game becomes very loud and fast, so you need to keep on your toes. It keeps going around in a circle until someone is successful. The gift is always a board/card/dice game, and we play the game until it's time to go to bed. My siblings and I are all grown now, but we'll probably continue to play this with our parents until we have spouses to bring home, then make them play as well. My dad's mom used to read Santa Mouse to me and my cousins. It was a book about Santa's helper who was a mouse. So for my whole life we have left out milk and cookies for Santa, and cheese and crackers for Santa Mouse. In return Santa Mouse would put gift cards or cash into the tree itself. So after opening presents you hunt in the tree for Santa Mouse's gifts. Definitely a tradition I will carry on to my kids down the road. Something a little different I suppose. We always have lasagna Christmas Eve, day before Christmas Eve. We also open our presents Christmas Eve instead of Christmas Day, but on Christmas Day we would always go to our grandparents' house to open presents with them,